Google Pixel 9 Pro and iPhone 16 Pro. Let's see which flagship has better camera system. In my video you will learn about everything these two phones have to offer in the camera department. I'm talking about portrait mode, cinematic videos, raw photography, and of course low light. As usual, I bought both of these phones with my own money, so thank you to everyone who hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And with that said, let's talk about their cameras.
Alright, so we have two Google Pixel 9 Pro. You see how similar they look. Which one, by the way, you think looks more like an iPhone? Now let's have a look at their cameras. We have ultra wide angle camera, main, 2x crop and 5x telephoto on both of the phones. On the bottom right corner here on the Pixel 9 Pro, we have the selection of different settings like white balance. You can see more information about the camera settings, autofocus, and even shutter speed. I don't remember seeing that, by the way, on Pixel 9 regular base model. That's kind of cool actually. You see I'm moving the camera along the frame and I can see the shutter speed changing as well as the lighting scenario changes. That's really awesome. So let's take the first shot. This is 1x main camera, auto exposure and auto white balance. Let's take a shot this way. Now you see what makes this phone different over the iPhone is that the white balance slider allows us to change the feeling of the photo. So if I want to have more warm tones in the shot, there you go. Or if I want to have more cool of the shot, I just slide the temperature slider to the left and get that kind of feeling. Of course, iPhone offers you the undertones and all that kind of jazz with the filters. Amber, gold, let's take a shot with the gold, and we can have a comparison side by side between these two phones.
So after using these phones in auto mode for street photography, two things set them apart. They really process image differently. The manual camera controls on the Pixel 9 Pro are implemented in a minimal and unique way compared to the other phones I've tried.
But it's not only white balance that you can adjust with this phone, there are a little bit more, to be honest with you. Whenever I switch to this manual mode menu, it's not real manual mode, it's more like quick adjustments, but you still can see all the professional settings like your aperture, autofocus, you see the shutter speed and even ISO. And it's very important if you want to take a photo with as less digital noise as possible and you don't want to have that grainy image. You want to keep your ISO level as low as possible, and here you can see it. Right now the ISO is at 22 only, so in this way I can be sure and be very confident that there will be no digital noise whatsoever. However, when we go in low light situation, then I will have to adjust my manual settings and keep my ISO lower in order to have clear low light shots. Shutter speed, focus, white balance, shadow, brightness. So if you want to quickly adjust all your settings, maybe you can do it with this brightness and shadow slider. But if you want more professional approach, then you go into the shutter speed and quickly change your shutter speed, adjust your exposure this way, which is really nice. I like how they implemented it in this phone. It's sort of like a manual mode within auto mode. That's practically all you need. ISO, shutter speed, and white balance. And it's everything within a touch available for you.
And what about the iPhone? Well, we still lack manual camera controls and adjustments within the built-in camera app. Don't get me wrong, there are these undertone filters that you can adjust, but personally I haven't found them useful since this phone was released, which is like 3-4 months ago. I've barely used them.
Now let's talk about the zoom cameras. You see both phones have 5x camera if you look at the menu, but they're not the same.
The first thing I notice about the Pixel is that there is this choppy transition between cameras. For instance, when you go from the ultra wide angle camera to the 5x on the iPhone, it feels like you have a proper optical zoom lens and you don't really see this transition between the lenses. However, with the Pixel Pro, you can see each moment when the phone switches between lenses, and it's not even a switch, it's like jump from ultra wide to the telephoto. You don't get that small going between little increment zoom. And as for the image quality, it depends on the lighting conditions really. When I use these phones at the base 5x magnification without any digital zoom, personally I prefer results from the Pixel. They appear more contrasty, punchy, and creamy simultaneously. Contrast is really there, and I'm not so sure how the phone achieves these results, but when I use the telephoto 5x, I'm talking about the Pixel, in low light, it produces sharper images compared to the iPhone 16 Pro. It just feels like the iPhone occasionally misjudges the exposure settings with the longer shutter speed. As you know, if you take the photo in low light and you have just a little bit of shake and the shutter speed is longer than it should be, then everything will be blurred out with this motion blur. Now, it's very often that I get comments saying that the Pixel has the most natural results out of any phone, but in low light I found that the Pixel 9 Pro colors are very off compared to what it was in real life. On the other hand, the iPhone is more accurate in terms of how scenes actually look like, which might be important to some people. Now let's dive into the video capabilities and image stabilization on this flagship.
Video stabilization standard on the Pixel and same standard on the iPhone. And let's start. 3, 2, 1, let's go. All right, now let's see how they look side by side. Both look pretty sharp to me. We have a lot of sunlight right now. In terms of the colors, that's probably the most prominent difference between these phones. iPhone looks a lot cooler and Pixel goes into the warmer tones. What I noticed also is that over time maybe Pixel improves the video quality because it uploads it to the cloud and does some sort of AI enhancements. But right after filming, they both look decent, just minor differences in colors. So it's probably just your personal preference, what you like better.
Now I get a lot of comments and messages asking me which phone should you choose for videos. So let me show you which one is better.
But first I need to put back the case. For YouTube shots, for beauty shots, I always remove the case. I don't know why I do this. If there's any YouTuber watching this video, let me know in the comments if you do the same. You just like have to go back and forth all the time during filming the video, you know, so you have to remove the case and put it back on. So let's put the phone on the gimbal, and while we still have some sunlight left, try to capture some of the beautiful B-roll. And right here I have a brand new gimbal from Hohem M7 iSteady. Now what's cool about this gimbal is that it has this AI camera tracker, which also has built-in LED light, and I can mount it just on top over here. And I always take with me whenever I travel magic arm with a clamp, which fits just perfect into this handle, like so. Just mount it to any rail. You can mount it upside down, into the wall, fence, whatever you want. Now all I have to do is just show this gesture to the AI camera and the phone will start tracking me. And you know, when you film on the main camera, you get better image quality on both of the phones, on the Pixel, iPhone, whatever phone you use. But the problem is when you film with the main camera, you don't see yourself. What's cool about this gimbal is there a special screen, tiny screen right here, and I can detach it and I can see myself remotely. It still works with the built-in camera app. And right now this is the preview on the phone, and I can see it right here on this tiny remote control. I don't know if you guys can see, there is like a rectangle around my face coming straight from this camera, and I can record in the built-in camera app. I don't need to use any third-party apps, which is really nice. So if I want to, I can use Blackmagic camera app without any problems and color grade my footage even better. And whenever other people pass by in the frame, the AI tracker recognizes them, but it keeps and stays on me. Now this is the image and audio quality 4K 1x main camera on the iPhone 16 Pro. And we will film a little bit just to compare the quality. Let's see how the dynamic range performs. Right now we're filming against bright source of light, which is sun, and how's this shadows recovery, how's the noise level, everything, the sharpness. What do you think about this image quality on the 1x main camera? All right, now let's see the Pixel 9 Pro. So the tracker has started, and this is the image quality on the 1x main camera. And then right now I'm standing with the sun behind me, so let me know how's this kind of light and how's the shadow recovery on the Pixel.
So if you want to film yourself like vlogs or similar content during daylight, then both phones will give you good results. But if we talk about filming cinematic videos out the box, I feel like the iPhone has an edge here because of its Apple Log feature, which enables shots like this. But it does require a little bit of the skill and knowledge in editing to squeeze maximum out of that footage. Now the ultra-wide-angle camera behaves similarly on both phones. It's sharp in the center, but poor towards the edges. However, I feel like the iPhone just retains a little bit more and renders the image sharper closer to the edges. It's minor, but you can see it really on a bigger screen. Like Pixel just looks completely blurred, something from, I don't know, 2012, while the iPhone at least gives you some info in the shot. And keep in mind, I'm filming during daytime here, so that's a bit weird on the Pixel part, I think. Also guys, remember how the gimbal was tracking me? Well, I used the same tracking feature for RB shots like this one. Just select any subject on that remote controller and the iSteady M7 will take care of the rest. And that's especially cool because I can use all these features in the Blackmagic camera app to color grade that stable footage later. And I will drop the link below so you can get your gimbal too. And thank you Hohem for making this video possible.
And now let's test their selfie camera. So on the Pixel 9 Pro, I have 4K voice enhancement on, and on iPhone 16 Pro, I have 4K 30 FPS. There is no voice enhancement built in inside the camera app, but you can reduce the noise after the fact, after you finish the recording. So Let's see how they work and perform. So this is the video and audio quality on the Pixel 9 Pro, and this is the video quality on the iPhone 16 Pro. On the Pixel, I can pause the recording, and same I can do on the iPhone. On the Pixel though, I can change the crop factor to 1.4 times. Other than that, they look more or less the same as far as I can tell from the preview quality. We have a little bit of noise from the street over here, and on the iPhone I have to stop the recording and only then adjust the noise levels after the fact in the gallery. So this is what it sounds like. So let me know which one you prefer, Pixel 9 Pro or iPhone 16 Pro, and we are off to testing the raw photography capabilities of these two phones. Let's go.
First of all, raw photos from the Pixel are much bigger in the file size. The iPhone 16 Pro gives you a few options for RAW, similar to what many DSLR cameras have, but there are no manual settings here on the iPhone. While you can edit the raw photos and get more information than with the JPEGs or HEIFs, but you can't really adjust much of the settings on the 16 Pro as you take in the photo. As for the image quality and details, I feel that the Pixel provides a more uniform dynamic range, preserving shadows and highlights, while the iPhone sometimes clips the brighter areas. The iPhone applies a bit of the over-sharpening. It's subtle but noticeable when you pixel peep. And when pixel peep in the pixels of the Pixel 9 Pro, you'll notice significantly softer details. It feels like it doesn't apply as much of digital over-sharpening like the iPhone does. Now let's talk about low light, and no cliffhangers here. The iPhone performs better, and here's why.
Alright, so it's getting darker a little bit, and I think it's low light test time, and Google Pixel 9 Pro already tells me to try night sight mode, so let's see if it's any good. Let's go.
When filming outside with the street lights on, sometimes the Pixel 9 Pro struggles with the flickering, while the iPhone handles it much better. And to be honest, both phones are set up to be in the same region, so that should be avoidable, but Pixel does introduce it a lot. The iPhone also produces a cleaner overall image, but the Pixel does have this dedicated night sight mode. What it does is it takes your footage and uploads it to the cloud to improve it, I guess, with some sort of the AI magic. But to be honest with you, I did not notice much difference or improvement. It still looks worse than regular videos from the iPhone. Now, portrait and cinematic modes are a matter of personal preference. Some people like that processing, others prefer this. But one thing I will say, the iPhone's LiDAR sensor helps here to provide better separation between the subject and the background, which does result in more natural image. Additionally, the iPhone allows for 5x telephoto zoom, which is a proper optical portrait lens, we can say, but on the Pixel, it's not available. For some reason, you're just limited to the 1x main camera. And this limitation is very unfortunate in my opinion, because the Pixel's telephoto lens seems to be pretty good. So maybe with the software update, we will be able to use it on the Pixel. Oh, and another thing is that when you film in cinematic videos, blur mode on the Pixel, you are limited also to 1080 HD, which is okay quality, but it's nowhere near in comparison to the 4K that iPhone provides. And now let's talk about the mode that I think does not get a lot of attention these days. I mean, it's probably on every single phone and camera out there, but it barely gets any coverage these days. I don't know about you, but I like using it. The Pixel gives you somewhat of a panoramic keyframe, so you just move your phone and you have to match and align that dot in the center of the shot. While the iPhone works more like filming videos, you just move the phone along the horizon and you can stop it anytime. So personally, I like the Pixel more for the image quality of the panorama shots, but I feel like I prefer iPhone for the versatility since you can stop it at any point. Now, cameras aside, obviously the Pixel has the Google AI, which does work better since Apple Intelligence is not even available still for my phone. It doesn't really work. I don't know when it will, if ever. So if that's important to you, you have to also keep that in mind. But as for the camera performance, I think I covered pretty much everything you need to know. Let me know in the comments which phone you would go for, the Pixel or the iPhone. And a little secret between me and you guys, I worked really hard to deliver a comprehensive camera comparison of these two phones in this video, so you can support me by hitting that like button and subscribe to the channel. That's completely free. And while I'm working on my next video, make sure to check out this video next, as I think it will be perfect for you. And I'll see you there. Bye-bye. Yeah, that video took me a few months to make, so I think you will like it. See you.